Hello everybody and welcome to the new moon of July 2026 for the Magical Circle School. My name's Yali or Eulasia, whichever you know me by. I'm sure you all know this by now anyway. So today we're going to be doing the tutorial for the ritual so that you can see how it's done, and I'll also go through things like substitutions because I've made quite a few substitutions for this one, mostly just because I can't find some stuff. I don't know where I put it. No happens. So I tell you what we'll do first. I will show you the layout of my altar before I do anything else, and then I'll go through the items needed and the things that I've substituted them with, along with any other ideas I can think of as well, just in case you're really struggling to think of substitutions. So let me just very quickly pick you up and pop you here. So this is the rough layout that I have. I'll get into why there's a random pine cone there in just a moment, but that's the very rough layout that I have. Nothing fancy today. Didn't really feel like making it fancy, to be honest with you. I am exhausted. So let us go through. So this is Growth and Emotional Healing Mandala. Items needed are a besom or broom for cleansing. Now, I have a tiny little besom that I made 2 years ago for Unbulk, and can I find it? Can I insert word here? So instead I'm going to be using a bell, just like that. You will see how I use it during the ritual thing as well, because obviously a besom and a bell are quite different, but they're both used for cleansing, so I thought this would be quite a cool way to do it instead. Now, if you don't have a besom or a bell, you can do other forms of sound cleansing, like clapping your hands or singing. Sorry, I've got hiccups. Or, you know, one of the things that I do when I can't find anything and I can't really be bothered doing much else, I just get some salt water in a bottle, like a spray bottle, and I just spritz. That's literally it. That's all you need to do. Next is a wand for directing energy in casting the circle. It does say in here that you can use your finger if you don't have one. However, I do have one. This is in the can I find it, can I insert word here, box, we'll call it. But I still have my Athame. So I normally use my Athame for directing energy. So I'm going to use that instead. Then it does state to have anything to cut the circle free from time and space, and again it says if you don't have one, use your finger. You can use anything. A finger is great because you usually will have one of those lying around. If you don't have one yourself, maybe steal someone else's. Joking, don't do that. Or if you want, you can just use a butter knife. Like if you want the extension, literally anything. I mean, like I have a sword, for example, but it's quite big, and the space that I use as an altar is quite tiny, and my sword is quite not tiny. Same reason that I'm not using my staff today either. It's just I will knock everything over and it will be complete chaos. Anyway, I digress. Sandalwood incense to represent the element of air and to help focus. I have that, and I have it in a little incense holder because, again, still having fire alarm issues. I don't want to make everyone run out here when it's just me trying to burn some red sandalwood. Red candles to symbolise the element of fire, growth and transformation. You can use a white candle, you can use a battery powered candle, you can use a crystal, literally anything that just represents fire to you. Like if you want to just pop a lighter in that spot, do it. I also forgot to say with the incense thing as well, if you either can't get sandalwood or you don't want to use incense whatsoever, there's loads of different things that you can use to represent the element of air. You can go outside and get a feather off the floor. Birds are very classic examples of air symbolisation. You can use crystals like citrine as well if you want to do that, or if you want, you can just draw a picture of a cloud. Anything that represents air to you. Okay, Next we have a seashell to represent the element of water and emotional healing. This is a very classic kind of thing. I do not have a seashell, nor do I live anywhere near the seaside in the middle of Nottingham. So I have I have a little scrapbook picture, because I'm very into scrapbooking, of the moon and the sea, because the moon is related to tides and the water, and it's also related to emotional healing, which is what the seashell is supposed to represent. So just a classical example of stretching correspondences there for you. Clear quartz to represent the element of earth and boost the power. Boost? What is that? Boost the power of the ritual. I do have some clear quartz. It's this tiny little rock here. I don't like polished crystals. They just seem inauthentic to me. I had to dig this out of a spell jar that I did like 6 years ago to find it because I wasn't sure where I put it. Found it eventually. Here it is. Let's have a look. Green candle to represent Gaia. Here she is. And then any representation of Gaia, such as a statue or even a few blades of grass. Now, I have pictures that I've done of Gaia. However, they're all quite large. And as I've stated previously, my actual workspace, although it seems quite big, when you put everything on the space, it's not actually that big. So I have, I have a pine cone. Because my lovely, wonderful husband occasionally will just pick up cool things he finds, and this was a really cool pine cone, and he was like, "You're a witch, you'll like this," and I was like, "You're right, I am a witch, and I love it." Other funny story, I had to ask him what this was called last night because my brain kept saying acorn, and it's not an acorn. Where on earth was I? A piece of paper or canvas to draw on. I have multiple pieces of paper. Just so that I have a little bit of strength, basically, to write on or draw on. Pen, paper, oh no, I've said paper, pen, pencil, marker, or preferred writing utensil to write with. Now, I'll explain it in a minute, but I have a silver Sharpie. Silver, keep that in mind. Next is cauldron, incense burner, abalone shell, or anything appropriate for burning the incense. As you can see, I've already got the holder, so NA. Matches or lighter to light the incense and candle. Lighter, thank you. If you're not using jar candles, you also need 2 candle holders for the red and green candles. In theory, yes, but also no, because mine are big boys. And a candle snuffer to extinguish candles if desired. Again, if desired. I don't need one. Blowing them out is fine. Okay, so what did I say that I was going to tell you about? Preparation before the ritual. Stay there, please. Thank you. Preparation before. So specifically says cleanse yourself physically in a bath or shower, then cleanse yourself and your space spiritually using incense. Use frankincense and or myrrh incense for their purifying properties and also to promote clarity of thought. I actually have a little pot of incense, which does consist of frankincense, myrrh. There's a little bit of lavender in there, a little bit of black mallow. There's some cloves in there as well, tiny little pinch of ginger and some red sandalwood. But again, I can't really burn it because fire alarm. So I basically just opened it up and wafted the scent like that. Needs must is what it is. Now, the other thing that I want to add to this, it doesn't specifically say in preparation for the ritual. However, I've read it in full several times because I like doing that. I'm a nerd. And I kind of wanted to add in that it would be a good idea to think about at least one thing that you want to grow about yourself, whether it's like some form of emotional healing or emotional strength or just like a goal that you'd like to work towards beforehand. Reason being that is part of this, and if you have a backup already thought of, it kind of takes the pressure off yourself when you're trying to draw something and you're just complete blank. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this ritual and then be like, oh yeah, I need to do this, that and the other. I'll just sat there and be like, blank piece of paper, sorry. So yeah, that's it. So I don't think there's anything else I need to go through before I go ahead and get this started. So instead, I will do what I did last time. I will read it, I will do it, I will explain what I'm doing if it feels needed. So we'll start by casting the circle. So use your bell to sweep clockwise, starting in the east around your altar as you push out negativity, and envision yourself in a healthy, flourishing meadow with this altar in front of you, and then put the besom down. Obviously, I've already said I don't have my besom, I don't know where he is. So instead, I'm going to start in the east, which is the direction my altar starts anyway. Try and make sure he doesn't make too much noise, so I don't want to wake the neighbours up. So, how should I do this? I know. Okay. 3 rings per direction with an extra 3 rings at the end. The extra 3 rings at the end are to seal the circle. I can't visualise. I have amphilophobia, which means no pictures in this brain, just words constantly. Rock Lobster in the background, maybe the Benny Hill theme song. So when people say visualise something, I think about it as I'm doing it instead. So I physically think the words, I am in a field and my altar is in front of me. Nice and easy for you there. Okay. Pick up the wand and point it to the east, spin clockwise and envision creating a circle around you, which comes together both over your head and beneath your feet to form a bubble. And then there's some verbiage to say there as well. Again, I'm not using my wand, don't know where she is, so I have my thing. She is in her sheath. She is not anymore. Don't mess with me. Joking, obviously. She is very dull, because that's what her themes are like, so I'm going to have to step back a little bit here. I don't want to knock anything over. Point in the east, spin clockwise, envision the circle creating around you, which comes together both over your head and beneath your feet to form a bubble. Okay. Okay. By maiden's laughter, by mother's love, and by old crone's wisdom, the 3 that are one, this is your circle. I hold it for thee, with all my love and my will, so mote it be. Ignore the fancy footwork. Again, that's to help with the visualization aspect of things. I can't physically see the bubble around me, so instead I swooped it above me and made sure it was underneath my feet with a little Victorian curtsy. Don't come at me, bruh. Oh, I don't like that. Okay, take the athame and point it to the east. This time spin counterclockwise and envision cutting your bubble away from the rest of the world, creating a safe space for you to do your magic. Okay, so athame is here again. Obviously I put her away because even though she is blunt, I don't want to poke myself. The end is still a little sharp. Don't take her out. And now we're cutting the circle away from space and time. So, anti-clockwise this time. Widdershins. Freed from illusions of time and space, the truth of ourselves we come to face, so mote it be. And that was a little bit of the edge at the end of that one there. So now we pop her down, save her for later. So next job, calling in the corners. Light the incense, hold it up, visualise yellow dragons flying in on the wind and say, I will light it first. I can't hold it up, so because it's very wobbly. So instead, I'm just going to waft the smoke in the direction I need it to go. Ancient ones of the east and dragons of air, enter and be welcome. Please bring clarity and inspiration to this ritual. As above, so below, within and all around. And then you put down the incense. Okay. Light the red candle, hold it up and visualise red dragons stepping out of the fire. And say, ancient ones of the south and dragons of fire, enter and be welcome. Bring growth and transformation to this ritual. As above, so below, within and all around. Put the red candle down. FYI, this up, down, round and round dance that I'm doing, not necessary. It's just something that I feel like doing. So I'm, again, rolling with it. Hold up the seashell. Visualise blue dragons swimming out of the sea and say, ancient ones of the west and dragons of water, enter and be welcome. Bring healing and emotional growth to this ritual. As above, so below, within and all around. And then put down the seashell. Hold up the quartz. Visualise a brown dragon climbing out of a hole in the ground and say, ancient ones of the north and dragons of earth, enter and be welcome. Bring grounding and nurturing to this ritual. As above, so below, within and all around. And then put down the quartz. So that felt a little bit funny to do with the picture. Try not to laugh anymore. Okay, evocation time, guys. Light the green candle. Got it, I think. Hold it up and say, ancient ones of spirit and dragon soul, ancient mother, goddess of growth, Mother Earth, Gaia, enter and be welcome. I invite you to bring growth, abundance and renewal into my life. As above, so below, within and all around. And then pop it back on the altar in the middle, which is where the ritual specifically said to pop it. Okay, so spell time. Focus your attention on the flame of the candle and think about what you need to grow in your life to encourage emotional healing and strength. This is where I said thinking about this beforehand would be quite helpful. I would not be able to come up with something on the spot. Begin doodling on your paper one or more symbols of that which you wish to bring into your life. Maybe you need to work on self-love, so draw a heart. If you want to work on emotional growth in general but don't know how to draw it, you could trace the seashell sitting on your altar if you are using it. Words are okay too. So you basically just draw a couple of symbols, really, and see where that takes you. I'm going to pop that over there and I'm going to do a draw. Nice and simple. I already knew, because I prepared for this in advance, that mine would be spiritual growth, because I'm working on some stuff in the background at the moment that I'm not going to share with you because none of your business. So for that purpose I have drawn a pretty badly drawn, if you can see it, pentacle, just because it's nice and easy and it represents spirituality. Then begin to drawing lines and patterns around your doodles. Spread it out to the edges of the paper. As you draw, focus on Gaia's abundance and growth, knowing that she can bless you with abundance of that which you seek. When you feel finished, hold up your mandala and say, and then there's some verbiage. Okay, now I would normally spend a very long time doing this because I am a doodler. I used to be a little bit of a professional doodler, so to speak. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to spend lots of time. But just so that you're not sat here waiting for me to finish doodling, I will see you in a second. As promised, I have finished doing my very rough doodle. This is not a professional doodle whatsoever, if there is even such a thing. But it just goes out to the edges. It's just some nice swirly patterns that I quite like. So, when you feel finished, hold it up your mandala and say, Goddess of growth, help me find emotional healing and strength. Shower me with abundance. so mote it be. Okay, next would be communion. Now let me have a quick scan. Please join me, take up your cakes and ale. Let us feast with dragons, elements, deities and each other as we come to the end of our ritual. Give thanks for the help and for the company we experience today. Take a moment to reflect on the work we have done so far and the outcome we hope to achieve. There is no need to rush. Take your time. Please do not feel pressured by others being quicker than you. They might be observing or having a different cake and ale. This basically means that if you have one tiny little cookie that is one mouthful and you're leaving half of it for the guides and the deities, if someone's having like a full slice of bread, then they're going to take a little bit longer than you. Now there's no specific toast, so instead, sorry about the swallowing noise, guys. I'm working on it. Next would be energy requests. Now, obviously, I have already stated about this previously, so I'm not going to go into it again. And just from here on out, actually, whenever I do the tutorial, I will always do the communion because there may be some form of toast. However, when it comes to the energy requests, I will just state this is the portion where we do energy requests and then I'll move on, just because otherwise you might get a bit bored and we don't want that. Okay, so thanks to the guides or deities. Now it's time to thank Gaia and the elements. Say, Great Gaia, Mother Earth, Goddess of growth, thank you for bringing your energy of growth, abundance and renewal into my life. Blessed be. Extinguish the green candle if desired. I'm getting warm. I'm extinguishing it. Okay, now we thank the elements. Hold up the quartz and say, Ancient ones of the north and dragons of earth, thank you for grounding and nurturing. Blessed be. Put the quartz down. Hold up the seashell and say, Ancient ones of the west and dragons of water, thank you for your healing and emotional growth. Blessed be. Put the seashell down. Hold up the red candle and say, Ancient ones of the south, dragons of fire, thank you for your growth and transformation. Blessed be. Extinguish the red candle and put it down. Hold up the incense. I can't do that. So instead, I'm just going to waft it again. I've just come up with that. Hold up the incense and say, Ancient ones of the east and dragons of air, thank you for your clarity and inspiration. Blessed be. Now it says, put down the incense, extinguish it if desired, or let it burn as an offering. I'm not a believer in extinguishing incense for personal reasons to do with my spiritual stuff that I'm doing at the moment, so I will be leaving it burning, and there's still quite a lot of it left as well. Okay. Circle opening time, baby. Pick up the Athame and point it east. This time spin Deosil clockwise until you get back to the east, and as you do so, envision placing your bubble back in here and now. Put the Athame down. Okay. Clockwise. There we go. Now, pick up the wand and point it east. Again, Athame. This time, spin Widdershins, anti-clockwise. As you envision the bubble coming down around you back in a circle on the ground, then spin Widdershins one more time as you envision the circle disappearing entirely. So 2 times anti-clockwise. The first round is bubble going down, second one is bubble gone. Obviously I did a little fancy footwork, so I'm going to undo my fancy footwork before I do the spin. Okay. The circle is open, yet unbroken. Go in peace and blessed be. Okay, that is the entire ritual, I believe. Let me just go through ritual ending info and disposal information, all that stuff, because I realised I didn't do that last time. Mostly because I know you can see it, but also I kind of thought it would be a good idea in case you have any questions about that as well. So, ritual ending information. Place the mandala somewhere visible or meditate upon it regularly, allowing the artwork to serve as a visual affirmation of your intentions. If and when you feel the urge, draw or colour on it to reinforce the emotional healing and growth. Dispose of burnt matches, incense ash, and any used up candles to the trash or rubbish. Make sure you're environmentally conscious about it. And then your green candle and incense can continue to burn, or you can extinguish them and relight them as you work on your mandala if you want to do more of that. And then everything else you can use again in later rituals. So that was just a nice simple little one. Not much going on with it, which is brilliant. We love a nice simple ritual. I can't think of anything else to go through with you at this moment in time, but as usual, if you think of any questions or you just want to mention something about the ritual, then feel free to comment down below, or you can comment on the post that we make in the TMCS information room on Facebook. You can send us an Gmail at tmcscouncilmembers@gmail.com. If you want to ask me a question about it personally, then my information is all on my profile on the school, so go ahead and look at that. All of us are happy to answer any questions that you have in regards to this. And yeah, let us know how you're getting on with this kind of thing. We enjoy designing it. I enjoy doing it for you. And yeah, I think that's probably it, because my cat's just come in, as you can see her down there, asking about her dinner. So with that said, happy witching.